Hello everybody! I hope you're all having a great day. Let me know if anything is weird, like the audio or anything, but we should be good to go. So good to see you guys again. Happy Monday! Yay! I'm so excited too. So we're going to be talking about astral projection specifically today, but also lucid dreaming. It really does kind of tie in with that as well. So the reason why we're going to be talking about this today is because I am releasing a new series called the Astral Project, and this will be a 12-month series, kind of like we did with the Dreams series, the Dreams of series, except this one is going to be 12 months instead of 11 months. And the Dreams of series that we did, they were individual classes where people can just enroll in specific classes. This one's going to be actually a full course. So I'm very, very excited. If you guys have questions, let me know. I haven't announced it to the public yet, but I am about to. And for anybody that it was in my Shift Mastermind or my Dreams of series, there's a special offer for you on this series. So please let me know if you have questions about that. And for anyone who wasn't in those the Mastermind or the Dreams of series, I will be releasing information to the public shortly. It's going to start on December 5th, and there's going to be a live class the 5th of every month, but there will be meditations in here. There will be Zoom calls and masterminds and all of that woven in, so it will be a 12-month series that I'm so excited for. So of course, if you guys have questions, let me know. Hello Ghost Wolf, you are actually second. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you guys. So of course, if you have any questions about your practice or out-of-body experiences or lucid dreaming or anything like that, definitely let me know. I did want this to be kind of a Q&A call, so if you guys have questions, lay them on me. I would love to hear about your guys' experiences as of late. There is one trending thing that seems to always kind of be one of the main things that dreamers and people who practice out-of-body experiences go through. Maybe not everybody, but at least in my community, something that a lot of us seem to have a love-hate relationship with is cannabis. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that as well, because if you've noticed, if you do smoke, it can totally throw off your dreaming practice. So we're going to talk a little bit about why that is and maybe some of the things that I recommend, because I definitely understand what you guys are talking about. I definitely, that has definitely been something that has put a halt in my practice, especially in my teenage years. And there's a couple things that I would recommend if there's anybody who does smoke cannabis that is struggling with working with their dreams still. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that as well, and maybe how to jump back into your practice if you have felt stagnant or you haven't felt like you have been really developing your practice. And I know this is something that so many of us are passionate about, but it does take a little bit of work, and it does take, it does encourage you to develop a practice, a consistent practice, but you don't have to be obsessed with this practice, studying it constantly, and monitor every move that you make. We can really allow ourselves to be mutable and flow in this practice, and so I wanted to kind of touch on that. So first, I would love to ask you guys if there is any specific struggles that you have been experiencing with your lucid dream practice or your out-of-body practice. And some of it is just low recall, and some of it is maybe lack of motivation, which all of us experience at some point, and especially when we're trying to do something for a prolonged amount of time, sometimes we need to take a break from it. And sometimes you'll see that reflect in your dream recall as well. So I wanted to touch on that. So first, let's talk about cannabis, because that does seem like a topic that a lot of people bring up, and they're always wondering how to still use cannabis while developing their dream practice. So if you smoke cannabis, basically what happens and why it suppresses our dreams is because we dream in REM sleep. And this stands for rapid eye movement, as you guys know. And this occurs about every 90 minutes of sleep. And the first half of your sleeping cycle is primarily deep sleep, and the last half is primarily REM sleep, even though there are little changes with the stages of sleep that we go in throughout the entire night. So, when we smoke cannabis, or when maybe we drink excessively, or maybe we're even on certain medications that suppress REM, what most of this does is it puts us in deep sleep. So it causes us to bypass our REM sleep. So if you notice that you smoke a lot of cannabis or something and you wake up and you don't really have dream recall, but you slept really well, it's because you got primarily deep sleep and not REM sleep. But what happens when we kind of slow down our cannabis use or we stop completely is all of the REM sleep that we were missing out on when we were using whatever substance we were using that suppresses REM. Primarily this is cannabis, excessive alcohol use, but not as crazy as cannabis, and then some medications. What happens when we maybe slow these down or we stop taking them altogether? We experience what's called REM rebound, which is exactly what it sounds like. All of our REM sleep, our dreaming sleep, comes back at once, and you'll notice that you have a lot more vivid dreams. You'll start having random sleep paralysis experiences. Trust me, it's not scary, and if you have questions about that, let's talk about that as well, because that's another topic that a lot of people have questions about. But you will notice spontaneous experiences start to happen when we slow down our cannabis use or anything like that. So let me see. I've definitely been struggling with lack of motivation, feeling too burnt out to do techniques or practice dream recall. I lost motivation to lucid dream and stopped trying for months, and I want to get back into lucid dreaming for dream work purposes. I can only get to the vibrational state, but I can't exit my body. I've been trying for a year. Okay, let's start with Rory. So, is there anything in your life that is taking a lot of your energy or attention right now? Because this was me when my grandmother passed away, for example, and I really wanted to dedicate it to my dream practice, but it was extremely difficult. And all of you guys know, at least some of you guys know, about the struggles that I've had with my YouTube channels for the past year. I finally got it figured out, but anything that spikes our stress level or anything that is kind of distracting us and causing us to kind of be preoccupied in a situation that we're dealing with, we will naturally experience less motivation, especially if what we're going through is stressful, because we dream when we're the most relaxed, actually. And when we are dealing with something that's extremely stressful, or we feel we are in a tough place or maybe an overwhelming place in life, your brain is actually trying to help you. It's trying to save all of its energy for that specific issue. And it will, as you guys know, our brain prioritizes things, and our brain really tries to seek pleasure, reduce pain, and be efficient. And if there's something that it feels is a pain point for you in your life, you're going to notice your dream recall naturally go down, or even your motivation. And this is almost a protection mechanism that your brain has so you don't get overwhelmed. So, yeah, so it's not your fault, Rory. I totally get it. And I've been like that for the past year. I've been kind of in and out of my dream practice for the past year as I've been getting lots of different things figured out in my life. And I've also been creating a lot of containers on the back end, and programs that have caused my dream recall to kind of decrease. But once we kind of deal with, in the best way that we can, whatever we're moving through, and we find a way to let go of what we can't control and take steps to what we can that feel good, you'll notice that your dream recall will actually naturally increase. So the first thing, I would ask is, where are the pain points that you feel are in your life? And maybe what are you holding on to or trying to solve that is out of your control? And I think that the biggest thing for all of us to learn is to remove what we can't control, because that's excess energy that's really not being used for anything, because these are things that we can't control. And I definitely have a history of being an over-worrier, an overthinker. And one of the big things that I really had to learn in my practice was to release and surrender to what I couldn't control and take steps with what I could control that feel good and allow me to kind of release some of that energy that I'm holding inside, trying to figure out how to make something a certain way, if that makes sense. So, and again, for anybody who wants more information on this, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer is a book that I recommend to everybody. And that is all about learning about the mind, that voice that will not stop talking. And when we experience something that triggers us in our reality, it's because our mind wanted something a specific way, and if it doesn't feel like it's going that way, we feel a disturbance inside. And this is how we harvest anger and anxiety, and maybe we feel helpless. And it's because of our mind trying to make something a certain way. And again, it's not our fault. This is just part of the human condition. But finding where there's excess energy, where it's not very helpful, and kind of surrendering in any way that you can to things that you can't control. And really looking at what would make you feel better in the moment. If it's wrapping up in a blanket, getting your favorite drink, and watching your favorite series, then that's what it is. And that's what you should do. It's really all about studying how you're feeling and working from that place. We should never work from how we used to feel or how we think we're going to feel. We want to work with where we are at today. And wherever we are at can change on a daily basis. So it's really just learning to take it day by day, doing the best we can, but also releasing what we cannot control. And knowing that nothing is happening to us. I know our mind can make us think that things are happening to us, but things are just happening, and we're just the ones who witness it. We are just the ones who see what is happening in this external world. And no matter what happens, you will always be okay. You will always be okay. And I think when we realize that nothing is necessarily happening to us, we are just the one who sees what is happening in this external world. It really helps us let go in a lot of different areas. And if there's ways where we can find humor in what we're going through, I'm telling you that is incredible medicine. Even if it's something we don't think we can find humor in, that changes your brainwaves to not think that it needs to be in survival. When we take things so seriously, and sometimes it is hard as hell not to, I totally get it. But whatever we think and feel, that sends a signal to our brain and our body telling it how we need it to function. And if it's something that we feel really overwhelmed about or really stressed about, it's sending a signal to our inner self that there is a reason that we need to be in survival. And when we're in survival, our major organs are shut off, our digestion is shut off, we don't dream very well, we don't sleep very well because our brain thinks that we need to be alert, right? And our brain doesn't necessarily see things how they are, it sees things how we believe that they are. So if we can change the way that we see things or that we believe things are, then that will change our internal state. So I would just notice where there is a disturbance inside. And if it's a way that you're thinking about how something is, or if it's something that's completely out of your control, and to separate yourself from it. A lot of time we as humans put ourselves in these issues thinking that they are us or that they are a part of us, but we're just the one who sees. We're just the one who is witnessing this outside world. So that is something that's definitely helped me as well. Hello everybody, let me say hello to everybody. Rory's here, Ghost Wolf is here, Meda is here, Eric, what is up, Pro Joker, Salvador, the Vegan Skeptic, what is up guys, Martin Brown, so good to see you guys. Let's see, that is definitely true for me, of course, yes, and I'm just getting back into it as well. I'm finally in a place where there's not a ton of things to stress about, you know, and I'm really starting to find my own flow, and there's been some situations with family, for example, where I have tried to heal certain relationships, and as soon as I kind of open my heart and I'm willing to see things differently, something happens again with specific people, and it leads me back to myself, as in, okay, I need to stop putting so much energy on these specific situations or these specific people or whatever it is that may be dedicated to misunderstanding us, or it just doesn't resonate with where we're at. It's all about moving your energy. We have one energy field and we can move it in different areas, and this is really just what we're becoming aware of or what we're focusing our attention on. And I have been trying to repair certain relationships that today I realized this isn't working. As soon as you open your heart to the wrong situations, the wrong people, the wrong way of thinking. Wrong is unquote unquote, because there's not necessarily right or wrong, but it's what feels right or wrong to you where you're at. It's all about coming back to yourself and shifting where that energy goes. Yes, flow, and we are mutable beings. We can flow which and whatever way, right? But it's all about recognizing where we may be investing too much that's creating more of a disturbance inside. And again, this doesn't have to be with people. This could be a specific situation, something that someone said to you. And really what triggers are is an activation. And if we can change that wording, you will experience it in a different way. So when you say, someone triggered me, that has a very heavy feeling. You're telling the brain that you were triggered in some way, and it almost sets off a certain set of emotions and thoughts, and it can kind of send us into a spiral, right? Especially depending on like what the trigger was. But if you say, this person activated me, what did they activate you to do? What did they activate you to realize? And so it's not changing anything in the outside situation, but it's changing the way that we feel and believe and see and act in these different situations. So that's something that I have been learning lately, and I hope that that helps you as well. Pro-Joker says, I lost motivation to lucid dream and have stopped trying for months, and I want to get back into lucid dream for dream work practices. For anyone who feels they have lost motivation, I definitely recommend checking out the video that I posted not too long ago about lucid dreaming motivation. I give you the biggest reasons of why we should dedicate to a dream practice and why we should be exploring ourselves and exploring consciousness in different ways. And the reasons that I put in there are a lot of the reasons that I use to motivate myself. And so if you guys haven't seen that video, I think it's just called like Lucid Dreaming Motivation or something. It should be pretty recent on my video upload, so I would love to hear what you guys think about that. But when motivation is an issue, a lot of the time it's because we're setting such a high expectation for ourselves that we feel like we can't keep up with it, and so we kind of tend to procrastinate, and procrastination is a form of stress relief. So if you notice that you are procrastinating something specific, ask yourself, what are you trying to relieve yourself of? Where is the stress point in your practice, and how can you change that? This practice should be fun, it should be exciting, and it's going to change all the time because we are human beings and we feel different every day, and we think different thoughts, and we feel like doing different things every day. So this practice, especially with lucid dreaming, it's about awareness, right? And if we really want to merge our dreaming self with our 3D self, we need to build that awareness naturally, not just in our dreams, but awareness of what's going on in our reality, awareness of what is stressing us out, about what we are avoiding and why. It's just awareness of the self. And if we really want to create that mergence with our dream self and our waking self, it really is just about becoming aware in different areas of our life. And if there's something that doesn't feel good to you, that's normal. Our feelings are actually connected to our intuition, and we can see this when people say, oh, I have a feeling we shouldn't do this, or this doesn't feel right. Our feelings are connected to our intuition. That's our truth. Our thoughts can deceive us because we're not our thoughts, right? And our thoughts are kind of just created by the illusion of what we believe to be true on the outside. But the feelings, your feeling is your truth. And so if you ever feel like you're caught up in your mind, you're overthinking, whatever it is, come back to your feeling. And if you've learned about my body scan process, I definitely recommend doing a body scan, identifying where that feeling is in your body, and asking it what it has to say to you. Because pretty much all the time, if we really become present enough, and maybe if we give it time, we have the answer. You know, it's hard to access with that conscious overthinking monkey mind that won't get out of the way. And this is why our lucid dreams can be so intuitive and profound, because that monkey mind is shut off. So it's about learning to also shut that off in different ways in the waking state so we can tap into our truth, what we really need right now and what we're feeling. So yeah, check out that video if you haven't seen it. That definitely helped me too. And if I ever feel unmotivated, I would still probably watch that video just because there's some really good points in there. I worked really hard on the visuals. I think there's like 50 pieces of B-roll in there, and it's only like a 5-minute video. So yeah, let me know if you like it. Let me know if it helps. And if you have any reasons or things that you use to keep yourself motivated in the dream practice that maybe wasn't in that video, I would love to hear about it, and I'm sure that other people would get something out of it. Mita says, I can only get to the vibrational state, but I still can't exit my body. I've been trying for a year. So if you can get to the vibrational state, you're more than halfway there. Once we're in the vibrational state, it's about surrendering. If you've ever been in the vibrational state, it can feel very chaotic. There's lots of physical sensations. It's very loud for a lot of us. It's a very, very physical process. And I think the biggest thing that has stopped me from inducing an out-of-body experience when I am in the vibrational state is me trying to focus so hard on it. There's really a line, because if you just allow yourself to relax and let go, sometimes you can fall asleep. And if you try too hard, a lot of the time that resistance is what's preventing us from going. So you just have to think about it this way. Everything is everything is energy. We are an energetic being in an energetic universe, and we project our energy, our awareness, outside of our physical body when we project. And if it's all energy, then what's going on inside is extremely important, because we have matter, which is like physical things, right? Physical things that we can touch and interact with. And then we have the energetic world, which is things that we can't really touch. And this is thoughts, this is feelings, everything like that on the energetic plane. So before you induce an out-of-body experience, I recommend trying to clear out your energy the best that you can. Now, there's a few different ways you can do this. If this is your thing, you can go through each energy point, at least the main 7 energy points of the body, and intentionally clear them out. And every chakra or energy point has a specific emotion tied to it. Some of them are to do with stability, guilt, love, creativity. And so it's about addressing these different areas and clearing out the stuck energy or confusion that you may feel in these different areas. Now, I love energy work. And if you ever want to learn more about energy work, Jeffrey Allen is an incredible person to learn energy work from. He makes it extremely simple. And really what it comes down to with energy work is visualization and intention. And we've talked about this a lot. So one form of energy work that you've probably done before is visualizing your day before you do it. Now, this is really powerful because you're literally creating a path. That idea, that visual did not exist until you brought it into your awareness. So instead of going into your day not knowing what you're going to do, not knowing how you're going to feel, map it out in your mind first. See yourself going through the motions. See yourself feeling good and accomplishing a lot throughout the day, feeling inspired and motivated. And that might just seem like a, imagination or whatever. But that's where things start, is from an energetic place. And you might have heard E equals MC squared. And this really means that energy is interchangeable with matter, physical matter. And this also is how we manifest. This is how we shift our reality, by creating something on an energetic plane first and then allowing it to take form in the physical. So I would clear out any stress, any stagnant energy, any resistance that you feel by doing, any of the things I talked about, or anything that feels good to you, and just creating a clear channel. That's really what it's about. I don't recommend trying to astral project if you're stressed, if there's something you're overthinking, if there is something that you just can't get out of your mind. Maybe you watched a really scary, horrible movie or whatever, and you don't want to dream about it or anything. Probably don't try to do an out-of-body experience then, because again, your energy isn't clear. There's something that's stuck in either your mind, in your heart, in your belly. And so really it's just about addressing how you feel and making sure that you're a clear channel. And another way to kind of clear up your energy is energy work, or breath work. We already talked about energy work. Breath work. Breath work is extremely potent. And as you guys know, a lot of the breath work encourages you to breathe rapidly from your diaphragm, and what that's doing is it's activating your first energy center, which is your root chakra, and this is your stability. This is also connected to like anxiety and all of that. So when you're breathing in that way, you're kind of shaking up all of the stuck energy in that area and breathing it out, especially if you do a visualization of actually breathing out all of this stuff that doesn't serve you. Sometimes when I'm doing breath work or anything, I will imagine like black sludge like leaving my body through my feet. And then every breath I take is whatever color feels great to you, but I love really like light colors like gold and like white and stuff like that. And just the visualization of that can really impact our body. And again, your brain does not know the difference between something you're dreaming about, something you're imagining, and something that's actually happening. So when you actually do this, your brain actually believes that you are clearing out these things in a physical way. So it really is all about energy, because that's really the basis of having an out-of-body experience is moving your energy to a different place. So if our energy feels too heavy, you'll notice that it'll be hard to get out of your body. I'm sure you guys have had an experience where you are in sleep paralysis and you get part of your body out, but the other part's stuck. And sometimes that does come down to heaviness in some emotional or energetic area in your energetic space. So definitely think about that, because everything is really it's all an energetic way of being. Everything is energy. Especially when we're doing an out-of-body experience, we want to try to make our space as nice and clear as possible. It's very hard to have an out-of-body experience in a space that feels cluttered or you don't feel comfortable in. You really want to clear out as much as you can in your being and also in your environment to set it up in a way that feels inspiring, that motivates you, that energizes you. And so that's probably the main thing that I would say with issues with inducing an out-of-body experience. In the beginning, I think I need to focus on dream stabilization and keeping myself aware within the dream, as I've noticed that's a struggle for me. That should be the first thing that you do in every lucid dream, is stabilize it. Just like I've talked to you guys about waking up and writing in your journal immediately, you want to create a habit that as soon as you get lucid, you stabilize. Now, the reason why our dreams can be kind of floaty and not very clear, and they can kind of crumble apart, is because number one, the environment is not completely stable. Once you get into a lucid dream, you have to interact with it, and this basically shows your brain this is a real experience. And if your brain believes it's a real experience, it's going to put more energy into making the experience more clear, crisp, and you will be able to interact with it in a much more sensational way. You know, you'll be able to feel things much more vividly, taste things, touch things, move around. And so you really want to stabilize the dream in any way that you can. And again, as soon as I get lucid, I just interact with my environment. I see what I can hear, what I can see, and then I will use my sense of touch, because that's extremely powerful in the dream, and that tells your brain it's a real experience. And the reason why we can lose lucidity is because when we are dreaming, again, our brain doesn't know we're dreaming. It thinks it's a real experience. And so it cannot accept that you are dreaming. It just can't. It's such a real experience. Your brain has an extremely hard time accepting that it's a dream. And so on top of stabilizing, I also recommend affirming to yourself, I am dreaming, as you walk around and stabilize. And this is a way to stabilize the dream as you move around. That way you don't have to like touch things as you're moving throughout the dream. You can just rub your hands together. Once you've stabilized and interacted with your environment, when you first get lucid, then you can just repeat, I am dreaming every once in a while, and I recommend rubbing your hands together pretty frequently throughout the dream. I do it almost the whole time. But of course, experiment. This practice also allows you to be your own scientist, you know, run your own experiences, find your own recipe for success, because it's going to be slightly different for everybody. You know, people get lucid with different types of reality checks. You know, not everybody uses the same set of reality checks. So it's the same way with you. You know, you got to find out what works for you and just play around with it. But I'd say the biggest thing that took away my motivation, I know we were talking about that, was the consistent cannabis use. And I know a lot of people struggle with that as well, especially after my grandma passed away. I smoked cannabis through the hospice so I could like handle all of the pressure, and it really helped me stay strong for my grandma and not break down every second I saw her. So I did use cannabis throughout, you know, every once in a while throughout the process, and then a lot of the time through the grieving process. And that's just, I've never lost someone that close to me before, and I didn't know how to handle it, and that's the process that I took. And so it's going to be different for everybody, but once you are in an addiction cycle is what they call it, when you're using cannabis consistently every single day, they call that an addiction cycle. And really what that means is just consistent use. You'll notice that your dream recall will diminish over time. Now, you don't have to be ready to jump back into your lucid dreams and like doing all these techniques and doing all this stuff, but allow yourself to just dream. Try to allow yourself just to have dreams. And I promise you, your motivation will kick in. You will have dreams where you were so close to getting lucid. You'll have an incredible experience that you want to repeat. Maybe you have a visitation from a past loved one. Just having your dreams there that you can witness will encourage you and will start to motivate you. So just notice what is causing you to tune out of your dream recall and just dedicate to letting yourself dream if possible. And that will definitely naturally increase your motivation as well. Yes, Rory, yes, I'm so excited. And for those of you who are just getting in, one of the reasons we're talking about this all today is because I have a new astral projection series. It's going to be a year-long series where we have monthly classes. There's going to be live meditations, we're going to have Zoom calls, dream circles, all of that good stuff. This is going to be called the Astral Project series. It's going to be launched in December, so if you guys have questions about that, just let me know. I haven't released it to the public yet, only my specific programs, people who are in my masterminds and past courses know about it. But if you guys are interested, definitely let me know, because I'm very excited, and we're going to be talking about a lot of this in there as well. So, yes, thank you so much for joining, Vegan Skeptic. Let me see. I was just as interested in astral projection when I read about lucid dreaming, but I fear the bad stuff I've read too. Have you done any videos about this fear people have or advice? Yes, so I actually have, one of the big things is fear of the unknown, fear of sleep paralysis, fear of, you know, different things that we feel could happen in these states. I recommend checking out, I have a sleep paralysis playlist on my channel, how to induce sleep paralysis, how to stop it, the scientific facts about sleep paralysis, how to turn it into a lucid dream, how to turn it into an out-of-body experience, the misconceptions and myths about sleep paralysis, why you should love and get excited about sleep paralysis, etc. So check out that playlist, but it's important to know that you're as safe in an out-of-body experience as you are in a lucid dream. And you guys know that when we have a lucid dream, it's a thought-responsive state, right? And let's say that we got lucid and we're in a dark alleyway, right? And it's kind of sketchy, kind of weird. And we feel a little bit uncomfortable, perhaps. And maybe we just assume that something's lurking in the darkness and is going to start chasing us. And then it does. It's not that you're actually in danger in the dream, it's that your thoughts were, the dream was responding to your thoughts and your intentions and how you feel. And it's the same with sleep paralysis and out-of-body experiences. And it is true that there is a fear barrier that you break through, and then you can have the most incredible, profound experiences. There is like a veil, like a fear veil that you have to surrender to and trust yourself in the process enough to cross, and you'll notice that there was nothing on the other side. You might see things that are like eerie or weird that you don't understand, just like in a lucid dream, but you're not in danger. I promise you. And I believe that a lot of the things that people are fearful of was created from the man-made mind or whatever. Like they're just fears that don't really have a foundation, that maybe were created in certain texts or certain movies or whatever. Like, for example, sleep paralysis. So many people think that they're being possessed when they're in sleep paralysis, and I will be the first to tell you that that is not happening. A lot of people think that they are getting suffocated in sleep paralysis. that's not happening. The reason why you feel like you're being suffocated is because when we are sleeping, we don't need to take in as much oxygen, so our diaphragm naturally collapses, and you're becoming conscious of an unconscious process. You're usually asleep when you go through this, and you've been fine every time. So it's just us not understanding the symptoms and what we actually go through during sleep paralysis and during sleep, in fact, and that's what causes us to feel heightened amounts of fear. But if you are nervous to have out-of-body experiences, a lot of it is just the unknown. We don't know what to expect, and it is a different experience from lucid dreams. It's a little bit more like alien-like, like otherworldly. Sometimes you don't have the clearest vision. Sometimes you may project and not be in your room, and you may be in a place that you've never seen before. And one reason why it feels so scary is because it feels so real. You feel more awake than you do right now in an out-of-body experience a lot of the time when it's, stable. And so a lot of that isn't fear of something specific, it's just fear of not knowing what to expect. And so if you feel that there's some fear that you want to face, I would get used to inducing that in a lucid dream, because that's a great place to practice this kind of stuff and to also break through that illusionary fear barrier, because I promise you it's just a thought responsive state, and you guys can test this out. Next time you're in sleep paralysis and you start to feel scared, or you start to feel fear, think about something funny, or think about something that you love, or think about someone that you're grateful for. Think about the funniest thing that your dog ever did or something. It's just about energy, changing your energetic space, what's going on inside. And again, our energy is our thoughts and our emotions. And so if we can learn to shift those, we can shift our experiences as easy as that as well. So if you're ever even in a lucid dream where something is scary, you know that it's responsive to your thoughts. And what's cool about a lucid dream, for example, is it's almost like you're in an improv show or an improv movie, right? Like you may get lucid in a dream where there's a very specific theme happening. Maybe like you're in I dreamt that I was in a school again last night, but it was like a warehouse type Hogwarts vibe. And the game we played, Superliminal, it was also combined with that as well. Very, very weird experience. But when it comes to kind of shifting the storyline in the lucid dream, all it takes is for you to decide. So what I mean by that, let's say that, again, maybe you're in a school, maybe something, you're talking to someone and whatever, maybe someone's chasing you guys in a school and you can't get out of the school or whatever, right? As soon as you speak something, everyone else plays along with it for the most part. So you can go up to a random person on the street and be like, hey, remember you were supposed to take me to that beach that we talked about. They'll be like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot. Let's go. They'll play along with it. It's like an improv, like an ongoing improv session when you're in a lucid dream. And it's kind of the same in lucid dreams or in sleep paralysis and out-of-body experiences. If you can change your internal state of what you expect and intend to happen, a lot of the time that will change what happens. And just like we have a lucid dreaming planning journal or a dream planning journal, you can also have an astral planning journal where you actually plan out what you're going to do, where you're going to go, and you have a very specific focus. That way you don't just get out of body and you don't know where to go and there's too many choices. You want to have a clear path of what you're going to do, and the biggest way to break through the fear barrier is to practice within a lucid dream and also practice getting comfortable within sleep paralysis. And once you can see that your mind and your emotions and your expectation can shift the experience, that will knock down a lot of the fear and you'll be like, oh, that's cool. And then eventually you'll build up this fearlessness where you know you're completely safe and you'll be a lot more daring. And this also will help you in your waking life as well, to surrender, to trust, and to be more daring in the things that you do. So yeah, it's all down to, it's an energetic place for sure. Thanks for joining, Salvador. Let's see. I just had a very similar experience with family. It sucks. Really? Yeah. Yeah, especially when it kind of catches you off guard. This is something I've technically been going through my entire life, but we went no contact for the past year, and I decided to open my heart and to try again. And quickly I realized that that might have not been the best choice for me and where I'm at. And so it's all about protecting ourselves. Even when we get older, we still have our inner child inside. And if you let someone into your life that really made you feel unsafe when you were younger, you're going to notice that anxiety and unsafety still come up in those situations. So it's about not having relationships or putting yourself in situations because of guilt or because you feel like you have to, but doing it because you feel safe and you can handle whatever the outcome is. So yeah, it's all a learning experience. I definitely agree. I'm definitely mastering the art of waving the white flag. What is up? Jay, how's it going? I haven't been able to AP for a year and honestly don't know why. What's your experience like right now with your dream practice and stuff? And if any of you are having issues with inducing out-of-body experiences, lucid dreaming is a great thing to practice, but also liminal dreaming. Liminal dreaming will allow you to lucid dream so much easier. It will allow you to stay conscious as your body falls asleep, and it will really prepare you for inducing out-of-body experience. And when I practice, thank you so much for posting that, by the way, Eric. That's the lucid dreaming motivation video I was talking to you guys about. So if you felt like you don't have a lot of motivation or you need some really powerful reasons to lucid dream, Eric has posted that for you guys. So thank you, Eric. But I would dedicate more to liminal dreaming and just practice shifting your awareness away from your body. So one powerful way we can do that is closing your eyes. So let's do this really quick. I'll show you what I mean by shifting your awareness away from your body. Jason, how's it going? So I want everybody to close your eyes just really quickly. Close your eyes, get comfortable. Take in a nice deep breath and become aware of your surroundings. You know where you're sitting, right? You know the area of your house that you're in or wherever you're in. And you can feel the energy of being in that space, right? Like I'm at my desk right now and I know what's to the right of me, I know what's to the left of me, I know what's in front of me and behind me. I can feel it and I know where I am. I want you to imagine and use this to however it applies to you. I want you to imagine sitting in the room next to you. So maybe now you're in the living room. Maybe you're in the bedroom. Just imagine yourself sitting in a different area of your house and really feel that you're there for a moment. Choose a place, a very specific place, like a very specific spot on the floor, a couch, a bed, the kitchen, wherever. Just imagine yourself in this new area. And I want you to try to pick up on the energy of this space. So now that you're imagining you're in this new area, sitting down or standing wherever you are, now what's to the right of you? Now what's to the left of you? Now what's in front of you? And what's behind you? Feel the energy of that space specifically. And maybe the place where you're watching this live stream, now that you've imagined yourself in this other area, maybe where you were sitting watching this live stream is in the room to the right of you or wherever it is. So you're creating a shift in your awareness of where you're actually sitting, where you actually are. Feel it, like feel being in that space. What's the texture of the surface you're sitting on or standing on? Is there certain smells that this area has that maybe the area before that we were sitting in doesn't have? All right, take a nice deep breath. Open your eyes. That is what I mean by shifting your awareness. That's exactly what you do to induce an out-of-body experience. Again, your brain cannot, it doesn't know that that's an imagination. It thinks that that's really happening. That's what's cool, is our, like everything that we experience, our brain believes is real. So I want you to practice that. If you feel that you've maybe had a hard time inducing an out-of-body experience or really making it click as far as a way that really allows you to induce it personally, play with your awareness. And you can also do this with objects. For example, maybe I I got a new card deck, by the way, Oracle of Light and Dreams. How cool is that? But let's just say I'm holding this deck right now. It feels very smooth. It's boxy. It's a literal square, or rectangle technically. It has a very smooth texture. Now, I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to imagine that I'm still holding it. Can I feel the smoothness? Can I feel the rectangular shape of that deck, that card deck? You want to do that same thing with an out-of-body experience. Again, you can do this by just shifting your awareness where you are in the room, or you can even do that with specific objects. There's even a gum technique for an out-of-body experience where you chew gum, you really take in the flavor, the juiciness of the gum, the texture, and then you spit it out. Obviously, like, not on the floor or anything. Let's not be wild animals. And you're gonna go lay down, and when you're doing your technique, you imagine you're still chewing that gum. It will make your mouth salivate, which tells you that your brain actually believes that you still have that piece of gum in your mouth. And you will be able to feel the experience of still having that gum in your mouth. It's the same thing. You can apply this in any way you want to. That's the key to inducing an out-of-body experience, is making something else more real than what's actually happening. And again, this is why some people do the hammock technique. When they're laying down, they imagine themselves being in a hammock and really tap into the feeling they'd get in their stomach, the rocking back and forth, and I will be the first one to tell you, that is nuts. If you are successful with this technique, that was one of my favorite ones. The first time that I did that, so I'm going to tell you how obsessed I was with out-of-body experience when I first started. I didn't have another couch really to go to. It was really just I did have a couch, but it wasn't really comfortable. What I would do is I would take the couch cushions off the couch and I would lay them on the floor next to my bed, and I would literally put a sheet over it, and I would make like a little bed that was like as wide as a couch cushion. And you know, it'd be like the 3 couch cushions. I'd put maybe a light pillow, sometimes not a pillow at all, because you don't want to like be in any uncomfortable position, because it will eventually bother you and you'll feel uncomfortable during your technique, and that could stop you. So the key is you really just want to feel open, floaty, and almost like you can tune out your body. Your head isn't like propped in a weird area. You just feel like you could imagine yourself floating and actually feel like you're floating. That's what you want. So I created a little bed on the side of my bed with the couch cushions, and then I would wake up at like 4 in the morning or somewhere around there, and I would immediately get on the ground and lay on this couch cushion. And I would imagine myself rocking back and forth. And one time, it was so vivid, I started to actually feel like I was rocking back and forth, and then it was like really, really rocking back and forth. I almost got out of body, but my dog jumped off the bed, and I have a big dog. I have a German Shepherd Lab mix. He jumped off the bed right onto my stomach and my throat when I was least expecting it. Obviously, that took me out of the experience, but the point of all that was that if you set up the space well enough, and maybe this is a lesson not to have like your big dogs in where you're trying to do a technique, because they can kind of sense when something's off. Like as soon as I started to feel my body slip, or my energy slip out of my body, that's when he was like, oh my god, what the hell's going on? I feel something's weird. But yeah, maybe make sure you're in your own space. But the point of that was, if you can imagine visualizing something so real, and you can actually tap into what it would look like from that perspective, what it would feel like in your body, if there's any sensations like smell or anything that's really, prominent about that experience you're imagining yourself to have, it will become more real and more real. And that's a way where you can shift out of your body as well. And sometimes people will just imagine themselves standing on the other side of the room. Say you're laying in your bed, you're meditating. Imagine yourself standing in the corner of your room looking at the bed. Obviously, your perception would be different, right? You're going to see the room from a different point of view. Eventually, if you can make that real enough, it's like you're going to wake up. Your eyes will open, and you will literally be standing where you were imagining yourself to be. That's how we make that shift. So it really is all about awareness. So I hope that helps, and it really shows you that there's not a specific like way you have to do it, you know. You can really play around with it and see what works and what doesn't, and kind of, you know, kind of play around with it and become your own scientist in your practice. But I hope that that helps. No, yeah, that's the right one, Eric. Sorry, I'm way late to your comments. Hell yeah, my conscience keeps me from getting into all types of trouble in my dreams. I just got on testosterone therapy, and it's unreal the amount of girls I have to tell to get. Wow, that's so crazy. Wow. Well, congratulations for everything that you're doing in your life. That is incredible. And it's interesting. The dream state serves me on so many more levels. It's not just about getting lucid, but it really guides me in waking life too. And if there's anything big that you guys are wanting to explore, you know, different ways of being, even like your sexuality and stuff, the lucid dream state is a beautiful place to do that, because it's your own space. You can explore different things and see what feels right and see what's actually meant for you before you take the leap in waking life. So I love that, because that's another really important point of how lucid dreaming can serve our waking lives and really help us find ourselves and who we're supposed to be. Of course, I woke up early, so I have to go to bed, but it was nice to drop in for a while. No worries. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Rory. Have a good one. I've been keeping my dream journal in your comment sections when I wake up in the morning. I hope you're okay with that. I love that. Thank you, Buddha. So what he's talking about is, what Buddha's talking about is, I have a second channel for sleep music, and a lot of people, specifically you, Buddha, which I really appreciate, leave their dream experiences. And so if you guys want to share your dreaming experiences, or you want to explore different sounds and frequencies for your practice, maybe check out the second channel. I've been uploading there pretty much daily sleep tracks, and I know that the sleep tracks on this channel were huge last year, but because of the issues with YouTube, I had to delete all of them and completely start over. So I literally created a brand new channel this year, and I've been posting daily. And there will be some days where maybe I don't post, and most of the time that's because a track is taking too long to export or something like that. It's probably just something on my end. But if there is a day that I don't post, it's usually Saturdays, because not as many people are online Saturdays. But if you're looking for consistent sleep music, that's the place to go. So thank you, Buddha, by the way, for being there with me. What was happening here? I didn't even see all this timing out. Oh my gosh. That's interesting. People are so interesting. All right. Thanks for taking care of that, my beautiful mods. I love you. I have lucid dreams without feeling sleep paralysis. That's totally normal. If you do feel sleep paralysis when you're in your lucid dreams, it's called dual body awareness. So that's where you can feel your physical body at the same time as feeling your dream body. And that's really, really cool. And that's a way that you can actually induce an out-of-body experience through a lucid dream, is you're lucid, and you kind of imagine, you kind of tune into what your physical body's doing, and eventually you'll feel the pillow on your face, you'll maybe hear your fan going or whatever's going on in your physical environment, and that's kind of a way to induce an out-of-body experience from the lucid dream state. So if you experience, and that's also why sometimes we can, like, we're trying to run through a dream or something, or we're trying to punch or whatever it is, and it's slow motion. We feel like we're moving through peanut butter. A lot of that time is because we are tapping into our physical body, which is naturally paralyzed when we're dreaming. And so if you notice that you don't have a lot of movements or whatever, whether it's lucid or not, you're probably tapping into your physical body. And if you are trying to make your lucid dream more vivid and more, you know, easier to move around, just try stabilizing again and interacting with the dream environment, and that should move any awareness that you had of your physical body kind of back into the dream world, if that makes sense. I love that, Buddha. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely don't listen to any of the silly peeps in here. Well, thank you guys for taking care of the chat. Guys, this is a place where we are open, we are loving, and we are friendly. And if there's anything that anybody could really take offense to or isn't necessary, it will be removed. So just know that before coming in here, that this is a place where we are connecting as a community. We're having open conversations, but it's no place for disrespect. It's no place for judging anybody else. It's no place to, no offense, but kind of thing. Not a place for that. Thank you, mods. Hello, Burning Spirit Light. How are you? How are you? So good to see you. Let's see. Perfect. All right, and Buta, I know that you've had some really powerful experiences as far as dream experiences. Is there any that you would like to share in the chat? And if you guys would like to see any of Buta's dream stories, definitely go check out the second channel. I actually have a forum, or a form as well, where you guys can submit your dream stories for the channel. So I'm starting a podcast, and I will be reviewing different dreaming experiences on the podcast. I will be sharing my experiences. I will have some people on as well on the podcast, and so that's kind of a place to share your experiences. It's really geared toward lucid dreaming and astral projection experiences. So yeah, if that resonates, I will make sure that you guys can. Yeah, thank you, Eric. Thank you. I will make sure that you guys get that link. I just hopped in the car and started to drive, so I can't share any dream stories right now, but everyone, please go to her sleep music channel. It's amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is definitely the place where we are. I hold this community. I really want this to be a place where everyone feels comfortable. And if you are going out of your way to be disrespectful, you will immediately get kicked the fuck out, because it's not the place to be an asshole. Here is not the place for that. And I trust my mods, and if you even sense that someone is even creating a new account to just be a trolly person or whatever in the chat, you guys can just go ahead and remove them. Yes, strike 3, yo out. We shouldn't even have to give 3 strikes. That's kind of ridiculous. I've been listening to sleep music for 3 years, and I have over 20 channels I'm subscribed to, and I'm about to drop all my subscriptions and just sleep with a lucid mystic. Well, thank you. You know, it's interesting. I was listening to like Jason Stevenson's music, and I love Jason Stevenson. I was a part of his YouTube channel before he even started doing sleep music. He mostly did like guided meditations and stuff. And lately with other people's channels, people make beautiful sleep music, but for me specifically, I can have a hard time sleeping, and so any sounds that are like really high pitch, or my mind's almost anticipating to hear those again when I'm trying to sleep and I'm listening to a sleep track that has like piano in it or something, and so I wanted to create something on the second channel that was it's just very floaty and ambient and really doesn't have anything that sticks out. So you'll notice a lot of my music just sounds like kind of floaty hums, sort of, if that makes sense. And so I really wanted to create music that I also enjoy. So I also listen to my sleep tracks nightly as well, just because I wanted to create something that I wasn't able to find when I needed it for my experiences or just getting restful sleep. And I'm someone who has a history of insomnia, and I wanted to find something that kind of graciously guides me into sleep and doesn't, isn't too chaotic. So if you guys hear my sleep music and it sounds very chill and just ambient and like floaty, that's the point. I didn't want any anything that stuck out too weird. All right, let's see. I was watching these scary YouTube videos. I'm not gonna lie, me and Jason talked about the new Dahmer series because my grandma loves horror movies, and the reason why I'm not super into horror movies is because I think a lot of them are cheesy and stupid, honestly. Like, I love Sweeney Todd, but that doesn't count as a horror movie to me. That is a beautiful musical that I have watched more times than I care to elaborate with you all. Um, and since it's this month is gonna be my grandma's 1 year anniversary of her death, and she always wanted me. She's like, "Oh, my favorite movie's Texas Chainsaw Massacre." You know, she's a sweet lady, and she's like into all this crazy stuff. And I knew I wanted to watch something with her in spirit, and I chose the new Jeffrey Dahmer series. And me and Jason talked about that, and it's crazy. So if you're looking for something that's like low-key traumatizing, but also a really, really good thriller, the one that Evan Peters plays in is the one I'm talking about. That is the way to go. So crazy. I finished the entire series, and I will probably be watching it again this month. And I also wondered how that would affect my dreams. And I have had pieces of that series come into my dreams, but it wasn't anything scary, you know. Some might think it is, but it was just like you could tell where the inspiration was from. uh, yeah, I guess, oh my god, I'm finding a theme. Sweeney Todd is like one of my favorite movies, not only because I love Johnny Depp, but because it's Tim Burton. It's so beautifully orchestrated and written, and I'm finding after you said that, it would be scary to be a meat pie. I didn't know what you were talking about for a minute, whether it was Sweeney Todd or the Dahmer series. So I think I'm finding a connection there with with the kind of movies I'm drawn to as far as like horror goes. That's interesting. You have 4 more episodes left? Oh my gosh. I honestly envy you because watching it for the first time was so thrilling. I was on the couch, I had my blanket, I had my huge koala teddy bear, I had snacks, all the lights off, I was ready. And it was so thrilling. I was on the edge of my seat every single moment. So you'll have to let me know how you know, what happens with that. No, that's fair. Horror/sci-fi are my favorites. They traditionally have very bad effect. What's your favorite, Eric? I would love to check out your favorite. And have you seen the Monster series? I think it's just, I know you guys have heard of it. Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story or something with Evan Peters. Holy crap. You guys have to see that if you're into that. Have you been able to meet your higher self in an out-of-body experience? Going back from horror to this topic really quick, I have met myself in an out-of-body experience, but I didn't see myself. I heard myself, if that makes sense. So when I had an out-of-body experience, the one that I really recall that is close to what you're referring to is like, I was out of my body, but I couldn't really move, and it sounded like 2 people talking on like a podcast or a TV show or something, and I like heard them talking back and forth. But anytime I would think of a question, I heard myself answer out loud, and I asked really deep questions. And this was like years ago. I asked really deep questions, and I would either get a yes or a no answer. It was only yes or no's, but a lot of that stuff actually happened. And so to me, I really do feel like that was a higher version of myself. Most of my higher self encounters have been through a lucid dream, but how I have my experiences is very different in an out-of-body experience than a lucid dream, if that makes sense. So I have communicated with my higher self in an out-of-body experience, but that was when I kind of first started to induce out-of-body experiences. I didn't really have a lot of the control down, if that makes sense, but I was communicating. In my head, I was asking questions, and then I would hear out loud a response. So that's really interesting. How was that game you were playing last time? Did you beat it? Yes, we beat it. I've also played that game a lot. It's so good. I couldn't wait to show you guys. Um, there's another game that's really short that's kind of like that though. It's called Fractured Minds. And it's kind of like an educational game on like mental illness or just troubles that we can experience as humans, and it's a lot like Superliminal, but way shorter. It's just a few stories, if that makes sense. And I kind of wanted to play that one. I played it once, but it was forever ago, so I don't even remember it. So I thought that would be cool. Yeah, Jason, guess what I was eating? I was eating Beyond Jerky and watermelon. That was my choice. Yeah, Fractured Minds is good, right? There's a series on Netflix where each episode was an interview with people who have allegedly, I believe them, had close encounters with forces of darkness. Everything from demons luring them to, their basement, to doppelgangers, to wartime ghouls, in actual battlefields, to being haunted by other unnamed entities of malevolence. That's interesting. My favorite is, I love documentaries. I love anything that kind of feels like that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. What's the name of it? I don't know if you posted that, but I'll have to check that out for sure. Yeah, I remember, yeah, Jason. I tried these mushroom jerky at Publix that are vegan. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, the ones, I'm so happy that, it's just a gas station, just 7-Eleven down the street has it, and it's obviously the Beyond vegan brand of jerky, and it's so good, it literally tastes the exact same. And they even have like multiple kinds. I'm like, you guys are really treating me. This is great. So yeah, that was my for some reason, that was my snack of choice for that horror movie night. That and almost a whole watermelon to myself. And if you haven't tried watermelon with a little sprinkle of salt or some of the Tajín chili salt, you guys are missing out. I eat like all my fruit with that Tajín chili salt. Is so good. So good. Oh yeah, Burning Spirit Light. Are you? Because I've never heard of Publix, so it seems like it's a Florida thing. That's cool though. I'm glad that companies are starting to kind of branch out in that way. That's really, really cool. Well, when you do remember, Eric, let me know. Because I'm ready. I definitely want to look into that for sure. And most of the stuff I watch is like, I love vlogs from like travel vlogs. I watch a lot of like dog family vlogs. Documentaries. I love learning about like quantum physics and neuroscience. So Gaia, that subscription, so good. And then occasionally, a little sprinkle of dark horror or something. Especially around this time of year. I had to watch something for my grandmother. I was like, I know just what to watch with you in spirit. Oh, I wonder where the Publix is then. That's interesting. Interesting. We've been live for 1 hour, 11 minutes. I love that. Everyone make a wish. So, guys, just another reminder that on 12/5, so December, we're in October now, December 5th, that is when the Astral Projection series is going to start. It's going to go for an entire year. I'm so excited. And again, for anyone who was in my Dreams Of series or my Shift Mastermind, you have a special offer for that. Then public, I haven't released it yet, but I have everything pretty much ready to go for that, and I'm so excited. So I'll give people about 2 months to enroll, and then it's going to be a very connected kind of container. So if you're looking to kind of share your experiences with the community, ask questions, get some one-on-one coaching, and really connect throughout the series, not just in the live classes we do, but also through masterminds and Zoom calls and all of that, then this is the series for you, especially if you are looking to invest in your practice of inducing out-of-body experiences, which I'm so excited for. So if you have any questions on that, oh really? How cool! We'll have to figure out a way. If you join this series, we'll have to figure out a way to throw a little mini celebration in there on like Zoom or something. We'll get it figured out. Yup, it's here, guys. There's gonna be 12 main classes once a month. We're gonna have a group chat consistent for 12 months, which means you get one-on-one coaching for 1 year. And then there will be guided meditations, and there will be mastermind calls and Zoom calls and all of that good stuff. Oh, what is it? The haunted something. That is, if I just typed in haunted, I'm sure there'd be so much that comes up. See, it's coming back to him. It's coming back. But yeah, that is going to be the series that we are doing. And again, it is called, wait, it's just haunted. Oh, okay. We thought it was haunted something because of all the dots. How did you forget that, Eric? Okay, haunted. I'm writing that down. Haunted. Cool. Just in time for the spooky season. Got it. I will let you know. But also, Jason or Eric, if you're open to checking out that series that me and Jason have been talking about, let us know. I need some people to talk about it with. Either no one wants to watch it, people haven't seen it, or whatever. I had to join a Facebook group specifically for that series so everyone could just talk about it and I could be around people who just want to like share a lot about this series. Yes, so it's called Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story? I'm not sure, but it's with Evan Peters. And I know that that's enough information to find it. It's on Netflix. It is the most watched show in the history of Netflix with like 250 million hours watched in the first 2 weeks. Yeah. This is actually my first thing that I've watched of Evan Peters. I know. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan now. Yeah. The way he portrayed Dahmer's role, oh my gosh. Wow. People were not kidding. It is so good. So yeah, I'll check out Haunted, and then if you can, if it's not too much, I know it's kind of like intense, but it's so good. It is like the best thriller I've ever seen, ever. Really good. But anyway, a little love and light, a little lucid dreaming, a little bit of like trauma and horror in the chat is fine. But this is a place to exercise all parts of yourself. Unless you're being an asshole, don't be an asshole. As Buddha said, don't be a dick. Lucid Mystic, I don't know if I said if you're interested in psychokinesis, there's this movie called Superhuman something, and I bought it and it was interesting. I'll just type superhuman and then psychokinesis, and maybe I'll find it. Yeah, I love that stuff, and I know there was a couple movies on lucid dreaming. I haven't watched them because I don't know. I should. But yeah, just to see how it compares to like the real experiences, but especially if there's something you really care about and you spend a lot of your time practicing at that or something, some movies that portray it, you're like very nitpicky about what's right, what's wrong. I'll try not to be that way with some of the lucid dreaming like movies or shows that people have recommended, because I really, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I'll check that out. I wrote that down as well. Wait, what's it? It's true. Remembering stuff does take a does take a lot of effort. Yes. Jason's, yep, that's exactly true. Yes, I remember recommending the Korean film some months back about the father locating his son using lucid dreaming who was kidnapped. What was that name again to that? Do you remember that? Because I swear I put it in my watch list, but I don't remember what platform it's on, because I have Hulu, I have Netflix, I have Prime, probably something else as well. So I just wanted to like easily be able to find it. Again with the remembering things. Damn it, Eric. Just kidding. Superhuman, the invisible made visible is the name. Oh, okay. The invisible made visible. Well, if you happen to remember later, then definitely just reach out. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Yes, so guys, I'm also working on, of course you know that I'm very consistent with my second channel. The reason why I've been not as consistent with like daily uploads on this channel is just because of all the stuff that I'm doing. I'm working with clients, I do mentorships, I do classes, I've been doing classes inside other people's groups and stuff, and I also got a very exciting thing to tell you guys. I'll give you a little hint. I am going to be writing a segment for a specific magazine on lucid dreaming and astral projection for their December issue. So I'm working on that, and I'm also getting my dream journal / workbook ready to, I'm working on finishing it, publishing it, and then I'll be putting it on Amazon. So that's kind of cool. So those are two things I've been kind of working on in the back end. So yes, that's yes. I was doing very, like daily uploads on this channel before, but since I was doing that last year, I have expanded in so many different things that I'm working on behind the scenes. So I promise you, I'm still here. I'm still available. You guys can reach out to me, but I am doing mentorships, I do business coaching, I run 2 YouTube channels, and I am working on creating a lot of things that I've been waiting to bring to the surface. So, but I will be working on some content this week as well for the main channel, and you guys have left some really cool ideas for some content you would like to see, so I will be working on some content for that. Yes, Jason, I'm so excited. You've gotten my dream recall better by 1000%. Your teachings are for real and definitely helpful. Thank you for all you do to help us all out. Much appreciated. Thank you, your mom. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate your support, and I just oh my god. No, he's fine. He's fine. Jason, is there a way you can put his messages back? Yeah, you can put his messages back, by the way. Jason. No, he didn't say anything wrong. He was asking if there's a way you can still lucid dream while being a stoner. Is there a way you can put that back? Let's also, if we're not sure who to time out, let's ask first. 1 second, your mom. I'm trying to figure out how to get you back. Jason, are you able to do that? Are you able to put him back into the chat so I could see his question and answer his question for him? All right, I'm not sure if you're here, your mom, but I'm sorry you got timed out on accident. Is there any way to lucid dream while being a stoner? Yes, there is, but really you really have to try to play around with. Your mom was timed out by Jason for 300 seconds. Yeah, if we're not sure, let's ask first, because I've never seen them in the chat before, and I don't. Oh, you're adding on 300 seconds every time. Oh my gosh. All right, your mom, I'm sorry for that. I'm still gonna answer your question. Yeah, let's be a little bit more careful with timing out and just wait to see what they're saying first, because the messages that got timed out were actually really kind. So thank you for saying that I've helped your dream recall, your mom. To answer your question, I hope that you can still hear me, is when you're smoking cannabis, you are going into deep sleep instead of REM sleep. REM sleep is where we dream and have all of our dreaming experiences. And when we are smoking, we actually go out of REM sleep and we go in primarily deep sleep. And so that's what causes us not to dream, is not really being in deep sleep. if you can take breaks or maybe even just smoke in the morning and see how that affects you, you will be able to get some dream recall back. And this is called REM rebound, when you kind of stop smoking as much or you stop altogether. All of the dream sleep or REM sleep that you were getting, that you weren't getting when you were smoking, all comes back at once. So there's definitely, you know, a love-hate relationship with lucid dreamers who also smoke cannabis. I'm also there with you as well. And so I do have some videos on that. I'll have to make a new one. So I will put that down. Yeah, your mom, by the way, we were dealing with a lot of trolls earlier that were being really just rude. So I'm sorry that happened. You didn't say anything wrong at all. You're definitely welcome in the community. I apologize. We will definitely be more cautious in the future. But I do appreciate my mods for keeping the channel together. But yeah, let's double check or at least wait it out to see if what someone's saying is actually offensive, because it was definitely a typo. Yep, I know what you meant. So I hope that helps. I will definitely make a video on that in the future as well, so you can kind of check that out. I wish... How long is 900 seconds? How many minutes is that? Because I wanted to wait until he can come back before I leave just to see if he had any more questions, but I don't think that we're going to be able to. Ooh, you timed him out for 15 minutes. Okay. Your mom, I'm so sorry. We were just about to end soon. I'm so sorry. I wanted to make sure I could answer your questions. But I don't know if we'll be on for another 15 minutes. But we do stream every Monday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So please feel free to come back as well every week. I would love to have you here. So sorry. I'm always practicing harnessing my chi, but I used to practice a pyrokinesis using a candle, and I'm still focusing on doing pyrokinesis wherever I can, but I'm limited right now. I kind of do the same thing with candles, but also incense. You know, an incense smoke is kind of random and sporadic, and there's certain times where I can like imagine it going completely straight up, and it will go literally completely straight up to the ceiling. So that's kind of cool. Is someone having trouble? So someone got timed out on accident that was asking a lucid dream question, because this is a lucid dreaming astral projection Q&A. But yes, someone got timed out on accident for 15 minutes. So I don't think we will be able to hear from him for the rest of the time. Sorry, your mom. That was not our intention, and I feel bad. No, you're okay. I'm sure that they understand. But yeah, unless someone is straight up being like really, yeah, it is much harder. I'm a mod in Chance's chat. Yeah, in Chance's stream. Yeah, being a moderator is much harder than you think. You really need to make sure you're only deleting comments that are specifically targeting people and being rude or disrespectful. Yes, when it comes to being a moderator in this chat, and plus, I really want this to be an open place where people can communicate and share different perspectives. So even if someone's playing the devil's advocate in this channel, that's okay. That is welcome. I actually encourage that. The only time we want to time someone out is if they are spamming in the chat, if they are using really inappropriate language towards me or other people in here, or they are just saying stuff that is really not necessary and it is becoming a distraction. That is the only time. We do not want to get ban happy on this channel. We really only want to time people out if they're becoming a distraction or if they're being highly disrespectful towards me or anyone in here, or of course racist or anything like that. That is the only time. So we want to time people out very sparingly if possible. Yes. Thanks, Haley. Love your sleep music, and I'll keep posting the dream journal in the comments. Awesome. Thank you so much. I can't wait to read them. Very, very, very excited. Thank you guys for joining. I really, really do appreciate it. I have some extra content that I'm working on tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and get going. But of course, if you guys have questions on my programs coming up, my services, mentorships, any courses or classes that I've created, or you have any questions at any time, please just reach out. And I also do have a Patreon where you can subscribe for just $5 a month, and you get access to exclusive videos, tools, and techniques, and also exclusive live streams monthly. And we do have a Facebook group for patrons and members, so you guys can connect with each other and share experiences and all of that. Ooh, okay. Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. I love you guys so much. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And we will be live again next week, next Monday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Oh, okay, cool. I hope you have a wonderful day or night. Bye, Haley. I'm getting your name right again. Perfect. Awesome. It's actually with 2 E's, but close enough. Everyone, I think I have my name spelled in a way that isn't exactly common. So best way that I can say is Haylee. The double E Haley. Okay, guys, I love you so much. I will see you guys later, and please reach out if you guys need anything. Again, thank you so much for everyone that has joined, and I will talk to you guys later. As always, I'm sending you endless love and endless lucidity.